living in a tent, everyone. Look at this. 10 by 10 or what have you. I'll show you the inside. Take off the shoes because we're indoors now, right? A lot of space, big bean bag. We sleep on the floor, desk, monitor. Actually, I haven't been living in here. I've been living in the cottage, but we do have tents back there. Got another one back there. And it's symbolic, right? I'm going to explain it right now because it's part of the practice that we do here at Base 1 Stoic Temple. It's also part of the tattoo, part of the emblem. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to show you right now. But a tent is one of the 4 main symbols of the Stoic monk here. And you haven't heard of Stoic monks because, well, the Catholic Church destroyed them all early on. But it is ancient, and when you read it, it is practical. It makes sense. The only problem with it is it's difficult. It's not easy. And it's got a bad rap, right? It also got shamed, like masculinity almost. It got shamed in the modern culture because it works so well, actually. The culture was overtaken by sophism. Sophism is a character defamation kind of philosophy, where just defeat the person's character, you don't have to defeat their argument. Whereas Stoicism's kind of the opposite. So the tent, right? The tent is like my friend Diogenes on Instagram. You can find him. My Instagram's Yogi Chris PhD. That's the newest one because the others get shadow banned. But him, Diogenes, a philosopher from, I think, Netherlands. And so he says it like this. It's very nice. It's the alchemical furnace. The alchemical furnace. Changing your mindset towards the situation. Because the problem is always a problem only in the mind. It's not a problem on the outside. And if somebody else says it's a problem on the outside, that's in their mind. They're judging it to be a problem. There is somebody that doesn't view the situation as a problem. And to them, it's not a problem. So if given a test that asked the question, is this a problem? The right answer is actually, well, what's your opinion? It's dependent on you. You define if it's a problem or not. The tent is a symbol for, in the problem, set up camp. Here's my tent. Now, you could think of it as like meditate, but it's not. It's not just that. I mean, meditation is in some ways a practice of setting up the tent. It's that alchemical furnace, like Diogenes says. You give yourself an opportunity to become comfortable. This is the cliche way of saying it. Become comfortable where you're uncomfortable. But it's the true. Now, it's not everything are you meant to be comfortable with. You know, just because it's uncomfortable to harm yourself, maybe set your hand in a fire, doesn't mean you have to. That's not what it means. That's not what we're talking about with the tent. The tent is, let's say, living in a home, having shelter. It's one of the basic needs. You as a human need this, need shelter. If you are able to survive in the elements, you still have shelter with your clothes. There's nobody that's just like completely naked with no shelter. And if they're surviving, it's like a day or two. That doesn't count. I mean, they're not going to make it. And if they are, I guarantee they're not. They're just not. Like, we have to make an if for the 1 in 10 billion, and that's clearly an exception. And if you want to strive for that as human potential, that's absurd because you lose all the technology benefits, advancements, anyway. So, there is shelter. Shelter is a basic need. Now, you need to be comfortable and safe in your shelter. And when you're not, it's something emotionally needs to shift. A perception needs to shift, right? So I was saying the problem is only the problem in your mind. The solution is available there too. This equation comes from Arashdi Bazaar. That by definition of it being a problem, there's a solution. It can't be a problem unless you already have a concept of solution. So what is that? And how do you bring it out of the potentialities of the universe around you, your environment? Is it possible? I mean, if the problem is I can't teleport and I want to teleport, I'm not saying that you're going to achieve that, but that you can conceive it, I would be willing to bet, even though I can't fucking prove it, so it's an absurd bet, that it's possible to teleport. So it's like a left versus right. It's a duality universe. And by conceiving of one, the other exists. And all things around us exist. Let's say besides all man-made things. All man-made things exist around us because someone imagined it first. It was non-existent first. And then it became existent over time and cooperation with people. Right? And hence communication. This is why ninth limb yoga, communication. Because that vision, the view that you want to see, the Dharma, is made possible through interaction and cooperation with people. And what kinds of people? I mean, it's not endless, but it is a deep subject. You could call it ethics. You could call it value systems, belief systems, or just aligning. Maybe many other words. So, where we align first is, I don't know where we align first, but for this blog, this video blog, this is the idea of the tent. And there are practices that enhance your, practice of the tent. How sturdy of a tent you can put up, what it can withstand, how comfortable, how much space do you really need. Just analogies to how much creature comforts do you need to be emotionally okay. There are many people with many possessions that are emotionally not comfortable in that situation. They need to set up the tent inside. This is what it's about. And there are practices that give you this resource. And you could call it yoga, you could call it meditations, you could call it breathing practices. None of it is to its fullest potential until we add the right mindset. And the ancient mindset has been hijacked by New Age, socialist, feminist, spiritualists. That actually, it's not just that, it's that compromises your own survival because the belief systems there compromise your survival. It's very easy to prove. Might take some time. But let's say that is a sheep mentality because it relies on the goodness of others or on the force of others to protect them. The other philosophy relies on your good judgment and intelligence to align with people that you protect yourselves. Somewhere in the middle probably is because we will always need that system, unless it'll be chaos. Everything will organize and new systems will emerge anyway. But there's always the need for individual and the ability of the individual to go more towards that direction, that choice, right? We want to make wise choices by not getting, I know it's kind of a deep, heavy topic, but we want to make wise choices by first creating space inside the tent, being comfortable, so that we're not making decisions out of fear. We're making decisions out of wisdom, really, not out of comfort. Fuck comfort. I can be uncomfortable. See, you get lost in the language. The body, I can be under stress and uncomfortable, but I'm not stressing about my stress. You get it? Cool. Go to ninthlimb.com. The link is below for mindset and yoga training with my silent flute program. There's also lots of content on this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.